Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Kentucky hospital has become the first hospital in the world to begin in-human trials. And the U.S. Department of Interior's database for known abandoned mine land has more than 2,800 entries for the state of Kentucky.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this Thursday, August 21st at 6:31 this morning. And Megan, it is just simply hot outside. Maybe even that fog is coming out too.
Yeah, both of those are correct statements. It's a little bit of a hot start to your day. Temperatures in the upper 60s, and we're seeing some fog, which I'll touch on in just a couple of seconds. Here's a look at those temperatures, though. Upper 60s and low 70s all across the board. This afternoon will be a little bit cooler than what we've seen the past couple of days, though, with high temperatures in the low to mid 80s. You'll see the cooler temperatures as you're traveling more towards the east. Only 77 in Wise, 79 in Clintwood, and 80 for both Grundy and Logan. But we are nice and clear on live pinpoint Doppler radar this morning. We will see some slight chances for some scattered showers in the afternoon, and then the fog this morning mainly for our southern counties as you're traveling into Lee, Virginia, and Campbell and Claiborne County, Tennessee. Amelia.
2 people are dead after police in Buchanan County, Virginia say they found them inside a mine. Deputies with the sheriff's office responded to the incident shortly after midnight yesterday. This was in the Spruce Pine section of Buchanan County. Officials found the bodies of Jerry Chambers Jr. and Jerry Orville Jenks. Deputies say no foul play is suspected at this time. Police have arrested a man and charged him with murder after a deadly shooting in Huntington, West Virginia. Huntington police say the shooting happened Tuesday outside of a home in the 500 block of 6th Avenue. 62-year-old Carson Scott Jeffers was charged with first-degree murder, resulting in the death of Michael Christian. But this isn't the first time Jeffers been in trouble. He was convicted of murder and the death of Michael Shane Sharp back in 2007. In Wise County, Virginia, deputies with the sheriff's office say a Wise County school system employee is facing charges regarding inappropriate conduct with a minor. Deputies say they received a complaint about the matter Tuesday. 28-year-old Tyler J. Tibbs of Coburn, Virginia, was charged with 3 counts of carnal knowledge. He was taken to the Southwest Virginia Regional Jail. A Jefferson County woman is dealing with nerve and muscle damage to her left arm after her house was struck by lightning during Tuesday night storms in that area. Shelby Miller says she was inside her home on Lips Lane preparing dinner for her family when those storms rolled through. She says she went to grab something from the microwave and was electrocuted. Now most of her appliances don't work, including that microwave.
I don't think many people know that it's not safe to touch your appliances in your home. You know, when you're in a thunderstorm, you think the shelter of your house is your safety, but it turns out that it can be just as damaging as being outside in a storm.
Miller says utility services and her landlord now need to inspect her home. She also has a growing list of medical appointments that she needs to go on, including a neurologist. A Knox County man is facing an attempted murder charge after police say he tried to run over them. It happened last week when Barberville police were conducting a checkpoint on a section of Kentucky 3439. Police say Kenny Fry led them on a chase, at times exceeding more than 100 miles per hour. They say they later found Fry after he left the vehicle and went over an embankment. Fry was accused of striking an officer before he was eventually taken into custody. In Breathitt County, a proclamation was signed by the judge executive declaring today Jaden Spicer Day. It says Jaden brought laughter, joy, and love to his family and friends, as well as those who were blessed to know him. Spicer's visitation will be at 10 this morning at the Breathitt Funeral Home. His funeral will be at 2 o'clock at the Breathitt County, and Breathitt County schools will also be closed today. Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman made her way to Moorhead early yesterday to recognize the Goodwill Opportunity Center in that area. I was at the event and have more details on what the center is doing. In its 8 months of being open so far, the Goodwill Opportunity Center in Moorhead has made a big difference in the lives of folks living in addiction recovery.
This gives folks hope and dignity, and you know, if you don't have hope and you don't have dignity, you're not going to go anywhere.
Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman came to the center on Wednesday to thank the Gateway from Recovery to Work Council.
This is truly about making sure that everybody, regardless of your circumstance and regardless of your zip code, have the best chance that you can have at building the kind of life that every single Kentuckian deserves.
From 2023 to 2024, Kentucky saw a 30% decrease in overdose deaths. Coleman says that's what makes the Opportunity Center here in Moorhead so important, as it helps recovering addicts find their place in the workforce.
Addiction has touched every single family in Kentucky. I don't know a family that hasn't, but I also know that the stories of resilience, of second chances, are where we find inspiration.
Saying that having a purposeful job can lead to long-term recovery.
When you see opportunities like this at an Opportunity Center and the program that Goodwill has across Kentucky especially, it's really good to be back and see the work that's going on the ground.
Through the Opportunity Center, folks are able to complete the Workforce Ready Certificate program, get support for long-term recovery, access a career coach, and even more. Organizers say employers also benefit from the center with work-ready applicants, increased productivity, and partnership opportunities for on-the-job training apprenticeships. Well, igniting minds and inspiring innovation is something the Kentucky Educational Development Corporation is excited to bring to school districts all across the state. Yesterday morning, they unveiled their new rolling lab that'll offer students a look into artificial intelligence in interactive ways. KEDC staff says for a year now, they've been traveling throughout the United States to get ideas for the mobile lab. They say this one is one of a kind.
We talked to companies that did work for Disney World, for Universal, so we really vetted this process. We already know that there are job positions that aren't even created yet. So there's going to be so many opportunities for our young people to grasp this and run with it.
The RV's first stop will be this Friday in Rockcastle County, and from there, 8 more schools will get to experience this for the first year of their pilot program. A Kentucky hospital has become the first hospital in the world to begin in-human trials of new 4D mammography technology. The new tech was implemented at Baptist Health Hardin in Hardin County. It comes from Caldare Inc. It's a clinical system for X-ray imaging that reads molecular level fingerprints in tissue, offering information not available using current tech. If approved worldwide, the new technology could save lives by detecting breast cancer earlier.
So I think the biggest advantage that 4D mammography will have over 3D mammography is the articulation of the actual lesions and the interpretation of those lesions through imaging solely to be able to render a diagnosis of cancer, which then allows the bypassing of the painful biopsy procedure.
And it is important to note the new tech has not yet been approved by the FDA. The U.S. Department of Interior's database for known abandoned mineland has more than 2,800 entries for the state of Kentucky. The Ohio River Valley Institute estimates more than 400,000 people live within a mile of that abandoned mineland. Forester Cliff Drua is working to reforest abandoned mine sites. The initiative started back in 2004 and has planted roughly 350 million trees on abandoned Appalachian mines. Cliff says restoring this abandoned surface to native natural forest is a no-brainer.
If you live downstream from a mine site and every time it rains your creek muddies up, then if you plant trees on it, that stops. We're building a new soil layer, we're putting out clean water, and we're putting out clean air. And you and I both like to breathe clean air and drink clean water.
The initiative hopes to plant trees on about 500,000 more acres of abandoned mine sites. A Letcher County woman honored earlier this year at the Kentucky Leadership Award ceremony has died. Quintessa Peak died Friday at UK Hospital. She was from Neon and was dedicated to helping others through several roles. Peak was diagnosed with sickle cell anemia before her first birthday and was once told she might not see adulthood. Reacting to winning the Carolyn Sunday Award in April, she told us she didn't necessarily consider herself a leader.
Sometimes I feel my impact is smaller, so maybe I wouldn't be considered a leader, but definitely someone who has strong ties to a community, which is most people still living here, and just a passion for wanting to help others and try to make a difference, a positive difference in people's lives.
Visitation for Peak will be Saturday at 11 at the new Freedom Worship Center. The funeral will follow at 1. Quintessa Peak was 44.
That sun has started to rise, and we're watching as the daytime is upon us this morning, mainly sitting in those upper 60s and low 70s as you're heading out the door. Still watching some fog for Lee County, Campbell County, and Claiborne County. And as we go into the next couple hours, well, we'll continue to see those temperatures warming up from those 60s into the low to mid 80s. It's going to be a relatively cooler day compared to yesterday, but those temperatures will just continue to warm as we're heading into your Friday and Saturday, before that cold front does swing through and cool us down. In terms of rain, though, we are nice and clear this morning, and what you need to know as you're heading out the door, temperatures will be in the upper 60s, low 70s with those clouds, and as we're heading home, we're seeing those slight chances for scattered showers, temperatures in the low 80s. Amelia.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on Mountain News this morning at 6:41. These days, brand collaborations can start viral trends with buzz of all kinds, like a ketchup smoothie. We've got the details.
Travel